Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop tonight. Apologize for the lateness. I got a whole bunch of other stuff done so that I could be in here for a few hours and get this monstrosity on an engine stand, transmission separated, and uh, get it ready for cleanup and everything else. The fun part is we have a whole engine and transmission. The downside is we have a whole engine and transmission. It's not very easy to get apart. I got a second jack over there that's going to hold the trans for the time being until we start doing disassembly. And then I have an engine stand over here for the 1MZ, and I have a bunch of cat litter on the ground from earlier today. There's a bunch of cat litter down here too, where some power steering or some gear oil spilled out earlier. So if you give me a minute, I got to get everything kind of in position so we can do this, and I'll grab some tools to try and help us. We also, since we moved engine stuff, we have kind of a different view for you guys. And I have a ton of stuff in the way now because we moved things out of the way, and Brian just yanked stuff and threw it, didn't actually put it in any kind of position. So give me a minute to do some slight cleanup here. We have 3 GM alternators. Oh my God. Just go where you're supposed to go. He doesn't want to stay there. With a bunch of distilled water, which is for the race car. With this gigantic pump. Was for the hot tub. We have a header. This is something we talked about earlier. This is the header that is on the 1MZ. It's so cute. It's a little tiny guy. This is the one off of the other engine. He'll get Cerakoted. So we're getting that stuff out of the way. Here is the other part of the exhaust for the 1MZ. This will also get Cerakoted. This was on our backup engine, and it looks like someone's been using that to store bugs. Or there's a bunch of dead bugs in there, shells or something. So move some stuff because it's time to move stuff. Put our wood blocks back in black, whatever that is. Of course, every cord gets caught up. Okay. That's what happens when you have a lot of gear. So this is technically a motorcycle jack. For doing motorcycles and ATVs and things of that nature. But it works really well for doing transmissions and engines. This is what we normally use to lift the engine into the race car. We'll have the race car on the lift a little bit. We'll raise this up and it'll bring the engine and trans together into one. But for now, for what we're going to do tonight, we're going to put the transmission on this, get it strapped down and get it happy. That's a big thing, because then we just have just the engine on the engine hoist. We'll take a bunch of stuff off the alternator, the power steering, the exhaust. We'll take all the stuff off and we'll put the engine on there. Or we might actually just put once the transmission comes off, we'll put the engine on there, then take stuff off. It's easier to take stuff off when it's on a solid mount versus swinging around in the air. Brian left his balancer here. I don't know what is in that cocktail. There's coolant and gear oil and power steering fluid and a whole bunch of stuff. So this thing is really heavy, really hard to move around. And I just saw something. We've had this for a long time, and it needs to get the hell out of here. Just gonna stay down here. These guys. This is. I knew that was gonna happen. Is he really hooked on the tire? Oh my God. He got hooked on the tire. This is the old exhaust from the MR2. This is what you get when you have the 4A GE engine. It's a collector 4 into 2, and then it does this weird thing. It comes into this muffler and goes out through the little 1 1/4 inch pipes. This is all done. We have no use for this anymore. None. So he is going to go to the scrapyard. Hopefully the mic stays with me. There we go. Perfect. He's been in here for far too long, and we were hopeful that we would get a 4A GE that would work really well for us. We didn't. So the stuff we need to get off of here, a lot of it is going to go to scrap. That's why we have 2 trucks going to scrap tomorrow, so I want to get as much stuff off as possible. The axle on this side, separate the trans, power steering. What else do we have? Actually, air conditioner, all that, air compressor, that can go. All of it can go. We've got a bunch of brackets and stuff that we don't need. All of those can go. This front shock mount. So I'll bring you guys down with me. I'm just going to support the engine and trans because it's going to be a little weird to get it apart because it's going to be kind of weightless. So not weightless, but well, yeah, I guess kind of weightless. So getting the transaxle off of here. This is our old one of our engine mounts. You can go over here. So a little bit more. He's pretty darn close. Actually, currently we have the trans being held up by this. So I need to separate. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit lower. I'm sorry for the crappy view here. Just because I don't want to work at it at the 6-foot height because the things fly around. So I have it nice and low on the ground. I'll try and come down here with you guys. We have it pulling up on the transaxle and on the engine. And we need to switch that over to just engine stuff so that we can remove trans and have him happily sit on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a header bolt from each side, and we're going to run a chain from each side. That'll be by far the simplest way to do that. If I remember correctly, we are a 14. Get a little adapter on here. This didn't get put away. And I'm going to put the mic down here so you guys don't get blown out. Yeah. Okay. So, cute little guy didn't work. My 5 amp hour. Got a slightly bigger guy. He comes right off. So. Most of the time, these studs go right to cylinder head, engine block, something like that. So it's a really good place to mount stuff. So let's bring this down. Because I have other chains. Hopefully he stays put again where he was. Here, it's going to fall off. There we go. Yeah. Oh, these are the NOx sensors. I'm like, why are all these parts over here? Because Brian took them off of the other block. There. Okay. That guy is okay. Size that is. This guy we're just doing by hand. Have a good mount for him on the other side. So. Just come back in there temporarily. So now we can take this off. This is part of Brian's setup, so this will be that. Now we have a chain here, which is not really held on by anything major. So I can do a washer with the nut there. And then the question is, will he reach over here? So that's going to be our other point. So let's do washer. We have our hardware here. Keep a miscellaneous bag of engine hoisting hardware, and then we can kind of add what we need. So we've got a nice big washer right here. It'll work great. Got an even stronger one here. These guys are awesome. It's too thick. They're great for doing blocks like this. I don't really have anything thicker, so this guy. Do I have a matching washer in here? Not really. All right, so here's these two thick guys, and time. These don't have to be tight. You just have to have good threads on them so that it doesn't slip. I'm gonna have to do. I actually have room. This guy's not going to fit through. So we're going to do. Use this closet here. Which side? So crevice is in. Chain goes freely. We'll do the washer and the nut on the other side of the header. And now we're just going to lift block only. Should say engine only. That'll give us room to get the transact spot. Get on its resting area. So now we can hoist up. Find out where we're going to balance at. Make sure we don't rip any chain, rip any hoses, or like the one that Brian needed to remove. Go right back. So grabbing on the front. You never remember which way this thing turns. Fairly good, maybe. By sliding this back and forth, we can kind of level the engine out. Makes it a little bit easier to get to stuff. It also keeps fluids from falling all over the place. Except we need to go the other way. It's dumping coolant out. There's still coolant in the block. There's still coolant in the heads. And I know this looks a little off kilter, but this is actually how pretty close to how it sits in the car. So there you go. Because those chains are shorter than these, so that's why we're so far to this side. But yeah, it's pretty darn close. Not bad, right? Third. Tools out of the way here. So I'm going to take the fleece off. It's warm. Right. It's a little bit better. Whew. It's still leaking coolant. I don't know where. Oh, gotta have all the coolant out of him anyway. So now we can start taking a lot of the ancillary stuff off. This shock mount, we can also take on the other side, we can take the carrier bearing bracket off, and we should be able to punch out that axle. Maybe, possibly. I don't really want to yank on it with the car like this, or with the engine like this. We could. see some gloves on and tear this stuff over. Getting that axle out of there would be a big first step. So we'll do the axle first, and I apologize, it's kind of on the side. Take a look at this. That coolant continues to drain out. Spring clip out. No, stay on there. He is not budging at all. So this might be so the carrier bearing mount comes off and the axle comes with it. I thought we could pull that big bearing through there. I don't think we can. He is thoroughly stuck in there. So I'm going to grab a Stendo, the big 14. I know, I'm using chrome sockets. Also going to get a headlamp here. A little bit of light. When I get this out, I'll show you guys what I'm working on here. There are 4 bolts for this thing. No. Actually, I think there's 5. Remember off of my head. And then there's one guy here that is actually behind the axle. So even if you pull the bracket off, there's no way you can't get a wrench in there. Get on it. Yeah, so the axle has to come out in order to get that thing off. Have our thing out here. Question is, if I pull the trans, the axle would stay put, correct? But the axle will be in the way. I'm going to try to put it on. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, there's really no way to get that. Okay. Hammer on there. Let me see if I can punch this thing out. Of course, all this stuff got moved into the way. You feel it crushing the race, bearing race, which is good. And then, of course, as you try and put pressure on it, it just moves around, right? It's dripping coolant. What the hell is that? Rubber sleeve or something? What the hell is that for? Right. So yeah, as you put pressure on this, it moves the whole engine block around. And it's dripping in the exact spot where you're trying to hammer. It's also fun. Try everywhere else. Let's try. Oh, here on the race. Try high again on the race. Not going to work. So. Oh, maybe he is moving. No. A lot of force happening right there. He might be moving. Bearing here. It's like he is going a little bit. So that thing is in there behind the exhaust, and frustrating part. This is the frustrating part. I know exactly how to do it, but I don't have a way to do it. I'm going to try and get in there with a 14. And I don't know if there's a good way. Now I can't even see him. Yeah. So I can put a wrench on him, but it can't be moved because the axle is in the way. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Crap. So, oh, the axle's coming out. He's coming out with the yank method. So I'm going to keep on that. He's coming out with the yank method. So I'm going to do that a few more times. I know, the whole thing is moving, right? And I didn't move at all. Not on that stuff. Damn. He is in there. It's rain right here. Barely moved at all. See, I hammer it and it starts moving stuff. There's no way down. Got going. Crap. All right. Right. So all of our stupid EGF stuff here. God, I just see that. If I don't have the axle out, it's going to be very difficult to get the trans off because the trans is going to want to stay on that axle. I'll have to hammer the trans off, which I don't want to do. Really don't want to. Oh, I got that C-clip off. This is that big C-clip. This is a big C-clip that holds a carrier bearing in there. So I got him out. Now I might be able to shred these gloves. Might be able to pry off the housing here. No way to bite on this thread bar. Because he's just round and he just spins. And you do get any kind of tension and slip on the hoist. So all right, I got another idea. I got lots of ideas. I haven't had one of these beat me yet. I can now let this one start. Throw some lube on there. Get some of this other stuff off while we're letting that lube stuff in. And I'll do a glove exchange. Almost got it. Hands off too. What would be really cool is when we have this thing totally stripped down. It's going to look extremely different. Right. Um, letting that lube soak in. We officially have our Rockstar. Had 2 cases delivered today. Hmm. All right. We can throw these. That's nuts in there. In there. Damn, I just found out Lizzie Musi died. Very, very popular drag racer. Very, very good drag racer, too. That's very disappointing. She was fighting cancer for a while. I thought she cleared all of it and everything was good, but so, rest in peace. She's badass. Up there with the big boys and taking no shit. Serious. Gotta like that. Gotta like that. You know what? It's destroying. Grab gloves. God, my glasses are covered. It's like a dog licking. All right. This thing done draining coolant. How about the coolant out of there? Everywhere. All right. So let's see if we can get this exhaust off. It's going to be a bunch of really weird ones. A couple of 8 mils. Get this stupid EGR thing off. You guys want me to bring you around to this side? I'll bring you around to this side because most of this stuff is going to be on this side. And I don't want you missing out on stuff. So give me a second to put these tools where they need to go. I'm just going to pick you guys up. It's a little different view as well. Sorry about that. So I'll bring you guys down here. So we have to take this exhaust off so we can get this out. The carrier bearings all the way down here. So you can see all the coolant that's spilled out. All that crap. Light. I'll just do a light up here. Now nothing's steel up here except for this, which is going to come off in a moment. So hopefully. No. Oh. All right. So much corrosion. We're going to have to go. Okay. That is okay. Pro tip, when you're dealing with a lot of corrosion, you want to use a 6-point socket versus 12-point. Strip out. Okay. This is why corrosion sucks. Oh my God. That nut, it's really in there. Holy crap, he's like stuck in there. He does not want to come out. So, I'm going to help him out. Damn, that sucks about it. Holy. There's no way. No way. That thing's embedded in there. We're going to have to help him out with the vise. More time. ridiculous. All right, he's out. What a mess. All done. The fixed tools. Let's keep trying. That's the other downside with the stuff on the floor. It makes it very slippery. And that is the whole stud. Sometimes they come off just as the nuts, and sometimes they come off. That is our first part up here. This is our second part, which is this guy right here. You can't do that too. Come on, bucko. There you go. You can stay. Okay, that's the stud as well. And again, we're not using any of those. But this is my mount for my light, so I'll have to move it to a different place. This is, again, all part of your EGR stuff. And it is not used with the race car. So get it, and it will go to the auto recycler. Now the problem is we can't pull the exhaust off because that's where our engine hoist is hooked up to. So we're kind of stuck here. But the more crap I get out of the way, the better. And I need to get that stud out of there. So yeah, see, nice and slow. Which size is he? This guy. Oh. And just strip it off. Oh yeah, fantastic. That's really, really good. Nope. And, I haven't had one beat you yet. This isn't going to be the one. Oh. Oh, he's grabbing on there. All right. Let's give him a shot here. So that's one case where, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I went tight first to sort of break this corrosion free, and then I came loose. And he's out. And I totally bricked that. So we put our Reverse torques away. Which, by the way, if you don't have a set of these, they're very handy. They're female torques instead of male torques. They're awesome. Very, very handy. And the only trick that I did there was I went with a inch socket instead of a metric socket. So this guy can come out. Our other bracket, this is another one of the exhaust heater tubes. So here we go. I'm not worried about him. And he'll get capped off. So now I have slightly better access to that. So slippery. Whew. So this gives me a little bit more room inside here to get to that big ass bearing. I'm going to try the yank method again, and we'll see if I can get that axle to move. I don't have very good grip here. He has not moved at all. Ah! This is a huge pain. Huge pain. So, let's see. Barely he has moved. So we're going to try the same method again. Where'd my hammer go? It actually used to be a pry bar a long time ago, and he's not a pry bar. He's a big ass punch now. Let's see. Stay there, maybe right there, so I can see. Of course, as soon as I put any kind of pressure on it, it's to move. It's killing the race right now. Just really helping anything. I suppose I can just do this. Nope. Ah, come on. God. He wants to come out. He's coming out slowly but surely. This is physical. Holy crap. All right. Keep going here. He's almost pulling the spider apart. Nope, and he has. That's the end. We're not pulling anymore. So there's balls that go in here, and they're all inside there, and they're crushed. So put this axle in the car. Done with it. Oh. Let's see if we moved him at all. I don't think we did. Yeah, we actually did. So, I wish there was a good way to do this. There really isn't. Really is not. Don't have a better punch or pry bar or anything. And I don't have any better access to it. It kind of sucks. Of course, there's no way to get light in there without being in the way. Sure. Yeah. Okay. You can stay there. This is really hard. Trying to keep the engine from moving. I'm trying to balance this huge metal bar, keep him in position, and not smack my thumb. All he wants to do is fall out of position. So it's a lot more difficult than it was. And all this is doing is smashing the race cover, but hopefully it's also pushing this stuff out. In there. Bottom. So I can't tell. Yeah, it's just smashing holes in the bearing race cover. Let's see if I can get the far side here. Yeah, not going to work. Stay there. Let's see if we move it all. It's not moved at all. And like I said, there's no way to get a pry bar in here to stay where he just slides right up off the edge. If you can get on something, this is rubber, so it has no pressure. I still can't see anything. So, There's no way to get up on that. He just wants to slide right up. Yeah. Oh, come on. Ah, crap. I'll barely rotate because those races are getting smashed. There's no way to get in there. There's also no way you get a pry bar. Yeah, that doesn't work because the cable brackets are in the way. Come up to this one. No way. This cable brackets are preventing us from getting any kind of shot in there. Yeah, that won't happen. So, how the hell do we get that race out of there? Oh, come on. This thing is a huge pain. This is going to be a mess getting this transmission off. Look at all the grease down here. This is just emptied out. Crap. There is absolutely no way to grab it from this end because it's all smooth because it's you can do vice grips and hammer it, but it's not going to help. So we're going to have to take the transmission off and then rest the transmission in the cradle, and hopefully when we pry it out, we can pry out the axle's in there with there's a little circlip on the end of it. We put the axle in, it pops on, it stays put. So we don't really have a way to not do it that way. That carrier bearing, it's two different kinds of steel and they corrode and gall. And they're not replaced very often. These axles were in very nice shape. So we're gonna move this, we're gonna jack this up, we're gonna move this tire. Set the trans down. And nose is flooding. A big mix of fluids there. So let's scoot this forward a little bit. I'll reframe you guys in a second. Get this into some kind of halfway decent position. This way I can get the trans up there. Happy. Is this foam pad look familiar? Yeah, that's the trans pad. God. Of course, we have a bunch of exhaust crap on this side. Again, why don't people put shit away? This is not where these brooms go. All right. So we have to take this off, and then we will take out the bolts that attach the transaxle to the engine. Oh, those are detached. We'll slide the transaxle back, and hopefully that'll pull that. Hopefully we can get enough pressure on there, pull back pull the axle out of there. So that is the plan. Oh, why is my nose? But we've got a ton of ancillary stuff to get off of there, or do that because don't want that stuff in the way. Oh, why is my nose? Oh, please stop dripping. Where'd my glasses go? I swear I just had them. Just had them. Oh, come on. Oh. Yeah. Start taking this crap apart. I turned my shoe sideways and made a mistake because now I have half a pound of cat litter. So save the holes. I'm just gonna let my nose rip. Screw it. Oh, interesting. Okay. Clean up those threads. So here's the little mini shock. Just a little tiny shock absorber to help with engine vibration. It's actually a good idea. It makes for a very smooth engine. But we're done with him. We don't use him in the race. So I have to admit, it's nice having that scrap car right there because we know everything's going out. The next thing is those guys are probably all the way through. So everything else is going to stay on there. Weave, I can get to all of the axle bits without having to do any of stuff. But you have to take those 10s off of there. So turn them off. These are a exhaust helper. Oh, of course. Okay, so you have to take literally everything. And why would you be the same size? They are technically stuff. Two ways about it. In order to get transactions. That pull back here. Well, one, two, three, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What a pain. I get all this stuff. It's so much easier putting all this stuff together. Let me see if I can get it 14 on there. Oh, I know where it's at. Here. Think, yep. Slide this out of the way. No. Something else besides my hand. Hammer. So, come back the other way. Yeah, nice. Again, same method, just a touch tight. It comes loose. Okay. Hold your finger in there, you can't see it. I'm guessing this guy's going to be just line up. Have to pull the entire exhaust. Oh, so close. All right, got him. One turn full. No, I'm not. This is worth 12 points, definitely for Mandy. Well, it's in a very, very difficult place. God, this takes forever. 16th of the turn, or 16th of the turn every time. For metrics, so 10th of the turn. Oh, I'm getting there. Cool. Quite a mess going in the shop. It's okay, it all cleans up. All right. Bolt is off. Oops. We have our bolt out there. Let's go back. Oh, that was so close. That was like left-handed, really close. 14. 14. Do all of our lower bolts first. Everything that's underneath. I'm going to put all these in a separate plastic bag. Bag in here. Excuse me. So all of our trans bolts are going to go in separate plastic bag. I will label them, not right now, but I will. Let's see if we can find the other ones on the other side. I have a washer here. It's for that guy. How do I keep missing? It's so good before. God, why is my nose right? Oh, killing me. All right, so we have it on this side. Come back over here and we're gonna figure out the bolts underneath here. So this guy has to come off for the exhaust. And we'll have two bolts underneath there. So I'll probably jack this up a little bit so we can see more. Get a second here. Oh. All right, sorry guys, I'm trying to get my nose to stop running, and it will not. It is like your same bolt. So I apologize for the delay. I'm right here. Ugh. Got paper towels and blowing it and everything else. So let's take a look at other underside. See if we can get this transaxle off. That's the difficult part about doing everything yourself. So, hopefully it's a 14. Let's take a look here. I think bigger than a 14. So I think that's the we just have the one down here. No, he stays on there. Drain. So we have our attachment bolt there. The cover. He's part of our cover. He's part of our cover. There's that other. Can't be it. Just the one. Yeah. Oh, because we have the other one on this side. Well, guess that is it. It's the one up here. All right, so we have our exhaust one here. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts over here. Okay, so get the exhaust one off. Should be able to pull the transaxle. I'm actually going to take probably that whole thing. Cat litter everywhere. Prime is nice enough to clean the toolbox. Stuff we put on there. It's dirty again. So let's do this guy first. It's so loud. Wow. This is back and forth a bunch of times. You guys can't tell, but that thing is hot. Can you hear it? Yeah. And of course, this thing is hot. So we're going to save these bolts that were in here because we might use them for something else. We might have a bracket or something that we use. So just going to keep them just in case. That was funny. That thing was really hot. Ugh, yeah. Okay. Now we're going to rest the transaxle on our pad here, our really gross pad. We're going to pull the rest of the trans bolts. I think we just have the 5 left up there. And with any good fortune, we'll put a pry bar in there and we'll pry the transaxle out. Hopefully we can get the axle out with it. So I'm going to move my bag. Drop this guy down a little bit, maybe. Let's see how far. Back a little bit. Probably a little bit more. Side of it. Still thinking we really should have drained all this out, but that's okay. So, oh, that's right. We jacked this up. Let's lower this down a little bit. Okay. Should be okay for now. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. These are going to be 17s, I believe. I'm correct. Let's get socket. This extension, even though we have an extension out already. And the other thing I should probably pull. Well, the starter's coming off. I should leave the starter on there. Wow. Wow. Okay. Holy smokes. What am I gonna do? We get the big boy out. I'm gonna do this, but look at me. All right. Wow. Extension here. Guys are in there. I don't think this transmission is ever good. Which would be odd. Might have had a clutch by 248K. I would be surprised if it did not have a clutch. Oh, that one was not on. Neither was that one. Neither was that one. Of course, the only mega difficult ones two right here. Nope. No. Okay. So the only really difficult ones were the ones back there. So what I'm going to do is, because I know this is going to twist, I'm going to reset this and I'm going to strap down this. So I need him to sit kind of flat when he comes off of here, because he's still at the original angle when he's in the car, just from how we lifted him out. So, come on. Because I had the whole engine in the way, I can't see. That better? All right. So should stick out slightly. Here. Right there. So grab our orange straps. Once he comes loose, he's going to want to fall right over. We're going to try and help him out a little bit. Try not to hurt a bunch of other components in here too. That's the trick. So we have a clutch line here. Literally everything is in there. Nope. Not gonna let you through there. Let you through here? Yep. That's the shift fork. That's all of that stuff. Need a couple of straps in here. Of course, he's in and out. So we're gonna hook him in here. Twisting him. Okay. So let's bring him over here. Works. I do. One strap. Because go on here. This. And we have a nice work. Strap it in. Wow, what happened to these? I can tell you right now, this shield is coming off. Okay. Because that cut one of our boots. That pit race. The axle came up and the boot got cut up because it's sharp. So I think our transmission stays. A little bit. Okay. Or a lot of it. And let's get these bolts out. Now it's up a safe spot for the transmission. Where are you? Big old bolt. And on the transmission, so this bag. It's all of those. Out, correct? We have top guy here. More top guy up there. This one, of course, has everything. So let's get a tappy tap and see if we can get this guy off of here. That's a mistake. Yeah, separation. Almost there. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because we still have that axle in there. We still caught. By the way, I'm using a very nice sharp steel chisel. going in spots where I can see that he's open. Or using flanges that I know work to my advantage so that I don't carve up surfaces. See, this is where it gets tight. Ow! He doesn't want to off of that. He doesn't want to come out of that. Or that axle doesn't want to come out. There. Which sucks. That sucks. Yeah. Oh, wow. Holy crap. You ever break a chisel? You bent him too. Wow. That's a new one for me. I'm not even mad. I'm actually, that's amazing. Holy shit. All right. Oh. We have more than one chisel. Damn, that's incredible. It's crazy. So, still working on this side, right? Right. Right in there. He opened up right there. So, of course, yeah, I'll just move the engine with this. Yeah, this is the problem. This is still stuck on that. Shaft is still holding. Damn it. Damn it. See if we can go side to the other. Yeah, buddy. Oh, come on. There's also guide pins in here. Remember where they all are. Next up. This is our flywheel inspection plate. Okay. Maybe. This is hard to see here. Oh, I think he does. Because I don't think there's any bolts back here. There's nothing. Oh, little hand. Okay. Yeah. Just, bolt. Is it? That's a hiding thing. Pry bars it is, right? Where we're at. Chisels make it kind of smooth. Open fine. Opening on this side. Big on that. Not opening this side because this damn axle. This is a huge pain. That thing is like an anchor preventing the transaxle from coming across. It's a huge pain. Huge pain. Yeah. I gotta figure out how to get that axle off. Okay, it's better. That is what is holding us up right now. Is that. Oh, this one. Yeah, there's no way to do that without that transaxle coming out, or without that axle coming out. And it's just a little C clip too, which is so funny. All right, you guys, I'm kind of stuck without a helping hand because I'll need someone to hold the engine while I hammer. So I'm kind of stuck because I can't have it wobbling around like this. Plus, it's 2 a.m. So scrap day tomorrow. God, I wish I had some kind of way. If I had like a mini porta power to put in here and just separate, that'd be awesome. I don't have anything that kind of small to do anything like that. When I try to pry, it's just gonna dig away. So there's no Till I get that carrier bearing out of there. I think that's stuck in there. Maybe. Or until I can have someone hold the engine so I can work this. What do I need? He's moving a little bit up here. Of course. Yeah, stay there. Oh, no, let me try. This is a maybe. Oh. Okay. One minute at a time, right? I should do the smaller one. So it doesn't hammer in as well. And the nice. Oh, stay there. Okay. There instead. Like up here. This is the other thing. I'm trying to pry and hold. He's not letting me come any further back because that axle is being held. Sucks. And now I just hit something. Oh, is it going? Crap. I think you would want to come further out. The axle is part of the way out. But he does not. So there's just no way. Even flexing it doesn't help it. So we're kind of totally screwed until we can get that axle out of there. It's literally holding the transmission in place. We can't pull it anymore. Because that ring is now butted up against it really, really tight. So we're kind of stuck. And it's late, and you guys have been super awesome. So I apologize. You guys have been absolutely awesome with all this. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sorry it's not completely successful and the trans isn't off, but honestly, I need someone to hold that engine so that I can wiggle and move. Since he's just kind of floating up here, every time I hammer it, it moves out of the way. Makes it very difficult. So kind of stuck until Brian gets here in the morning, and then if you're fortunate, I can pop it off and slide it out of the way. But that little C-clip back there, I don't have an axle to really show you, but I have one right there. Kind of. I think that's real off. So this will kind of show you what it is. See this little notch right here? There's a circlip that goes in that notch. When you punch it into the transaxle, that circlip goes blink, he compresses a little bit, and then he expands. And now that axle is stuck in there. You have to really yank on it in order to get that circlip to compress and come out again. So that's what's in there right now. Trying not to get the hiccups. So right now that axle is maxed out, as far as he can go out. And we're trying to pull the transmission backwards this way. And that C-clip is holding on for dear life. He doesn't have enough pressure to compress and come out. And by me moving the transaxle back, it's not enough pressure for it. But well, there will be enough pressure for it, but I can't hold the engine in place. I'm only one person and it's on this, so he just wiggles. So whenever I try and push, the axle just goes with it. That's the difficult part. So I don't have a way to hold that engine any better right now. In a few hours, Brian will be here, and Brian can hold that engine while I pull the transaxle. Or we figured out a different way to punch out that axle. That would be punching out the axle would be the optimal, but I don't know how to do that right now. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll have a nice dream about it during my 3 hours of sleep. So thanks you guys for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it was amusing to watch or slightly educational to watch. We'll say that. We are very close. And again, once we have transaxle apart, we put that to the side. It can all get power washed. This thing, the exhaust, well, it'll go on the stand. The exhaust will come off. Everything will get taped up and covered. Engine cleaner, it'll get power washed and cleaned. Parts that we can take off, we will. They'll go to get Cerakoted. So things like the water neck, the valve covers, the headers, the fuel rails. I have to order. Actually, I got to go downstairs and order a new fuel rail. So we'll get all of that stuff Cerakoted, ceramic coated. It takes care of heat. It dispels heat very, very well. It looks very good. It's very durable, which is another good thing. We have the other engine Cerakoted. And once we do that, we will take the block and the heads and we'll mask off everything else. We'll get high temp primer on there, and then we will do high temp paint, and the block will get red because we have the yellow block in the other car, and this will be our red block. And that way it's a lot easier to describe to people, hey, I need XYZ off the red block. We have two different blocks, two different engines, two different transaxles. This will be the red transaxle, same thing. Nothing really gets Cerakoted off this. I don't think. If I did Cerakote anything off of it, I don't know. If it's all coming apart, I might do the outside housing just for protection against the elements. And the transmission gets pretty warm, but not crazy warm. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. That's just me. So yeah, tomorrow we'll get this thing up on the engine stand after we get that huge pain in the ass axle out of there. I wish I had a better way to get it out, but I don't really right now. If I think of something, I will definitely let you guys know. You'll probably see it up here. And I have to get this cat litter out of my socks, but I'm going to do that outside. I'm not going to do that in here. So thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, please put them down below. Shoot me an email, send me a text, whatever. Happy to answer anything from you guys. This is the hard part about doing all this stuff by yourself. But I get it done. Not worried about it. Just takes a little bit longer. So yeah, thanks a ton. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give me a kiss on the cheek. Give me a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's important for them, but it's far more important for you. Cool. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you tomorrow when these are two separate pieces. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in a bit.